hi, me from the future here. That's a strange statement, but follow me on a journey. I was trying to make the first part of this video about how to do custom styles and customize all this. And you can actually go out into the Godot editor and edit these little layers and stuff like that. I almost don't want to touch it and show you because I just got this working again. And I don't want to break it, but you can actually go out, and one of these is like make custom, yeah, and go out into the Godot editor, and it's all just control nodes all the way down. If you do that, be super careful what you touch, because I've spent so much time crashing DLogic, crashing Godot, and I even had this project, you know, the one that I film, to the point where none of the buttons would work. And the DLogic devs had to take a look at it. I can giggle because it's working now. I was very much not giggling when that happened. So here's my advice. One, if you want to customize the style, just stay in the DLogic editor to do it. Because I haven't broken it yet just using the editor. If you do open it up in the Godot editor, don't touch anything that's not in the inspector. Like if you want to change a color in the inspector, that's probably pretty safe. If you start adding control nodes, you gonna break it. Ask me how I know. Hold on, field trip. This video right here by Joan, DLogic 2, new style system. If you really want to change your style, I'm gonna send you over here. This is probably the best and the safest little method video to show you how to do anything really, really fancy with the style. And I actually think that Joan was the developer that I talked to that dug me out of a hole. So thank you to the DLogic devs. Thank you especially to Joan. Or if there's two Joans, thank you to both of you. I'm not sure if it's the same guy or not. By the way, if you do mess something up terribly and your project goes south, you're just gonna have to reinstall DLogic. But it's going to be okay. It's going to keep all of your timelines and stuff and just give you a fresh DLogic install. So to do that, you are going to figure out where your add-ons folder is in your project. Get that up in your file explorer. You're going to close your project, delete the DLogic folder, drag in the add-ons DLogic folder from the zip. You remember how we did in the first episode? You're just going to drag that in again and reopen the project. Sometimes you can do it from the built-in updater. I was not totally able to get that to work, but the drag in always works. So if you're really stuck, that's my advice. If you want to add a functionality to your visual novel, such as I had a request for a back button, and I thought that was really, really smart. It's a bad idea for multiple reasons. I'm sorry. It's a bad idea to add it to your style. It won't work anyway. I'm going to show you the way that'll actually like really work, but I'm going to cut back to my old footage. So enjoy that. It'll be no seconds for you and a lot of seconds for me. See you there. If you try to add a button to your styles, it won't work. It just simply will not be clickable. The DLogic documentation addresses this. Let me show you. I cannot see or press my buttons. You might have UI elements that you want to appear on top of a dialog that's plain. Makes sense, like a back button. But they can't be clicked or hidden behind the background. That's actually true. When I started playing with the scene, I was able to hide things that I didn't fully understand why they were hidden. In that case, these nodes should be in a canvas layer. I'll show you how to do that with a higher index. Learn about using canvas layers here in the Godot documents. Watch this. If you read the Godot documents that are linked, let me click on the canvas layer node. You'll notice that index is not a property. I'm reasonably sure they mean layer instead of index. Let me show you what they mean. Okay, when we run the game, I'm going to come over here to the remote tab. There's DLogic doing everything that a Dia does, right? And it's got a canvas layer that it's running everything on. What the documentation is saying is that we need to insert a second canvas layer and we need to have it on a higher layer than DLogic so that it's easier to click. I'll show you. Hold tight. Step 1, Gumpo, I love you, but you gotta go. Step 2, I'm in main.tscn. Let's add a canvas layer. I click to the plus. I'm going to type CAN. I'm looking for this little white thing with a paintbrush on it. Nailed it. Create. Here's the layer property. And Godot just spoiled it for me. But the higher the number, the closer it is to the user. So just so we know that we've done it, we set the layer like really high. The highest is 128. That's fine. If DLogic is running on layer 1, which I think it is, yep, then my canvas layer is going to sit on top of DLogic, and whatever I put on this canvas layer shouldn't be able to be interfered with by DLogic. So I do want a button. Let's hit the plus, B-U-T-T-O-N. This is going to be our go back button. I was playing with a DLogic project and they just had like a X, and I liked that. It was simple, quiet. So for my text, I'm just going to put X. I had this debate with myself last night. If you're trying to get out of a window, is it the upper right or is it the upper left? That answer changes if you're a Mac user or a Windows user, I bet. I'm on Windows very clearly, so I am going to come up here to the plus and I'm going to anchor my button to the top right. I just mixed up left and right, didn't I? Oh well. If you would like yours anywhere else, you can just use the button, anchor it there. I'm gonna zoom in because he's really tiny right now. Actually, one way to fix that, where's theme overrides? Where's fonts? DLogic comes with those default fonts, so I'm gonna hit the quick load and looks good. For font size, what's that look like? That's fine. I don't want this gray box. I'm just going to take it out. Under... oh, gee, Jiminy, where would it be? Styles? Yeah. Under theme overrides, styles, I'm going to fill all of these with a style box empty. You know what I learned recently? If you've got a UI element and it's just absolutely dead to rights not behaving, there's probably a style box over it, and it needs to be set to style box empty. I don't know, something to try if you ever break something. Now, just to make it easier to see, I think I want an outline. Yeah, so theme overrides, constants, outline size. What does 15 look like? Cool. That X is out of bounds. Okay, there's two ways to solve the out of bounds X. We can put a margin container as a child of canvas layer and then make the button. Let's do that because that's technically the quote unquote correct way. I've got canvas layer highlighted. I clicked the plus sign, margin container. Yep. The margin container needs to be set to full rect. And then the button needs to be a child of the margin container. Okay, our button's doing goofy stuff. So highlight the button. I want him up and I want him over. So, is he still clipping through? A little bit. So go back to margin container. I'm going to filter M-A-R-G-I. It knows what I want. Constant margin. I don't know. What's 10 look like? Set 10 all around. That way, if we ever add in any other UI elements, they'll also be subject to this. Okay. So the margin container is now saying you have to, I said, set 10 pixels in from me. That's technically the most right way to do it because if, like, let's say we wanted our visual novel to work on mobile or different screens, maybe somebody's got one of those vertical screens, it should just scale to fit everything. The other way to do it is just click on the button and just move it. That's easy, but it doesn't scale. I don't know. Do what makes you happy. My plan. when the user clicks on this X, it's going to take them out of the visual novel and to the main screen. So let me put a script on the button. Oh, gee. I'm going to call it X button. I never rename those, but what if we want to have another button later? And I'm going to connect pressed to button. Connect. Did it. We know how to change scenes. On pressed, when I press the button, get tree dot change scene to file. And that should be start screen. Yep. So watch this. So here they go. And I can't click. I know why. I know what happened. I have the margin container highlighted. See where it says filter? It says pass. I'm going to set it to ignore. It was absorbing some of my mouse clicks, so it couldn't get out to DLogic. Now let's try it. Okay. So I'm all started. I don't know why I clicked it a bunch of times. But here is everybody. And I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go to the main menu. I froze it. Okay. DLogic wants its timeline ended is why. So we have to talk to DLogic. And it's got a function that just says end timeline. So now when we press the button, DLogic should stop and we should be able to see this menu screen, right? Going along. No, I don't want to play anymore. So it works. It looks like garbage, but it does work. Boy, there's a lot of ways to fix this. This is going to be a quick one. Here's my beautiful plan. DLogic, when it ends, it does that little animation and it drops everybody out and then it changes the file. So I'm going to set a timer just to give it time to play its little animation. The animation's cute. Once the timer is done, we're going to activate our fader. Remember that guy? And he's going to make a nice little fade to black, and then we'll see the start screen. I can add a timer node. I'm going to just do it in code. Bar timer equals, hello, timer.new. Make me a new timer. Add child timer. So now I've added the timer to the scene tree over here in code, but I did it. I'm going to set the timer as a one-shot, meaning it only fires once. I'm going to start it. I think 3 seconds is enough time. Let's try it. If I hate it, I'll change it. I'm going to wait for the timer to go out, so this is a long way to tell Godot to wait 3 seconds. And then I want the timer to go away. Queue free is the function that tells Godot, get rid of this node, just make him happen. Remember our fader? He's a global object, so I can type his name and then just call fade. And then we'll switch the scene. Hi, sorry, I forgot. In our project, it's called fader. My fault. Let's start it up. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to turn the audio off and hit the X. DLogic plays its little animation. And we're back to the starting screen. You can make that as fancy or as not fancy as you want. Play with it. Make it look good. I am going to cut it here. I will see you next week with another request I had. Anyway, take it easy. Take care of yourself. Make games. See you later. Hey, real quick before you scoot, I am on buymeacoffee.com. It's kind of like Ko-Fi and Patreon together. If you found this video helpful or useful, I would appreciate you coming over here and checking this out. If you are willing or able, you can donate on this page.